Welcome back everyone for a badass redemptive Cobra Kai watch party. As I said in my previous video, Cobra Kai Kid recently interviewed Hayden Schlossberg at the premiere of the Karate Kid musical. During the interview, which I highly suggest you watch, Hayden dropped many tidbits on how they think about the show and where they are intending to take certain characters. I want to focus on one small interaction that concerns both Kreese and Johnny. Now, Drew gave Hayden his theory for how Kreese's storyline will end. Basically, Drew suggested Kreese will somehow sacrifice himself to save either Johnny or Daniel. This would provide some sort of redemption for Kreese, similar to how Darth Vader died to save Luke and kill the Emperor in the climactic moments of the last Star Wars movie. Notice first how Hayden immediately replies.
Life. Now that you've said this, it's definitely not going to be those things. So if it was, those cards are off the board, okay?
He's joking around, having fun. His relaxed response is a clear indication that he doesn't need to use any deception or ambiguity. That's probably because whatever the ultimate fate for Kreese will be, it's not some Darth Vader redemption. But what does that mean? What is in the future for Kreese? Look at what Hayden says next.
I will say this, I'll say this. We think about where people would think it's going to end. And we also think about where we want it to end. I think that there's been times on the show where people have predictions of things, and then it's like they happen, but they don't happen at the end of the series. It happens as a stepping stone along the way.
Now that statement, specifically in response to Drew's theory about a Darth Vader-like sacrifice and redemption, is interesting. Basically, Hayden is saying there are a lot of fans out there predicting some sort of redemption for Kreese. That makes sense, as some of the more awesome badass fans predicted it long ago. Yeah, the loyal fans have seen it. Now, I was thinking at the time that he would die in Season 3, and that was mostly because of something Martin Kove said in an interview before Season 2. Obviously, the show didn't go in that direction at all, but the idea of Kreese dying with some sort of redemption is definitely still there. But here's where what Hayden says is very interesting.
We think about where people would think it's going to end. And we also think about where we want it to end. Sometimes it's like the two merge, and other times it's like, you know what, can we subvert it? Can we do something different?
That is a strong hint about the future of Kreese. He says two different but related things. The first thing is, if they know everyone is predicting something, they want to somehow subvert that prediction or expectation. I'm not the biggest fan of subverted expectations as a storytelling device. It works as a comedic device, like here.
Medic!
Yeah, that works and is funny, but as a storytelling device, subverting expectations mostly just makes for a frustrated audience. Now, what it means here is they are all well aware many fans have predicted this, and are looking at subverting that expectation. As he then goes on to talk about how they take something that may be at the end of the series and place it in a different spot, also seems to imply something like this could happen, but it won't be the end of his story. I tend to think Kreese will have some sort of redemptive or almost redemptive moment, maybe even in Season 5. But then at the final moment, he falls back into his own ways. He just can't give up his philosophy. Something along those lines would match up with what Hayden says really well, and could make for an interesting story. A Kreese redemption comes, but it's not when you expected, plus it's somehow subverted and maybe in the end won't be a redemption at all. So now I want to move on to a small remark Hayden makes right after this.
And I would say it's less Kreese's redemption that we're concerned about than Johnny's, you know?
This is one of the biggest hints about the ultimate direction of the show that we've gotten in a long time. In fact, look again at how Hayden acts after he says it.
And I would say it's less Kreese's redemption that we're concerned about than Johnny's, you know? Anyway, I'm just saying in terms of where the show goes.
You see that?
Anyway, I'm just saying in terms of where the show goes.
It's almost like he's trying to reframe what he just said. He wants to walk it back a little. He went too far. But that is an important look at the ultimate destination of the show and Johnny. So there you have it, straight from Hayden's mouth. When it comes to the ultimate destination of the show and redemption, they're focused on Johnny. That makes sense. He has been the core of the show from the beginning. Johnny in Cobra Kai was the window from which we are peering back into the Miyagi-verse. Johnny is the one who needs redemption. So don't put much stock in possible redemption arcs for any of the other characters, like Kreese, Terry Silver, Daniel, or Sam. It's about Johnny. Now, a good question to ask may be, what is his redemption? A second question may be, wasn't he already sort of redeemed? That sort of happened in Season 1. Well, I think the answers to both questions are related, so let's look at them together. At the time of its release, Season 1 was often portrayed as being about Johnny's redemption. Now, there was very little intelligent, in-depth discussion, as this channel wouldn't exist for about another year. But yes, media types talked about how they brought back the bad guy from the movie to tell the story of his redemption. You can see it too. Johnny brought a lot of good to a lot of people. He helped the losers become winners. In the end, Miguel won the trophy. So there definitely was a redemptive arc. But obviously, with the arrival of Kreese, it wasn't a permanent redemptive arc. And I think this leads to the key to understanding Hayden's comment. So when they say Johnny's redemption, they are not referring to his redemption for the things that happened in the original Karate Kid movie. That was accomplished in Season 1 and finished in Season 4, when he and Daniel joined sides and learned from each other. And the excellent first learned stand, and then of course in the finale when they came together. So it's not this that Johnny needs to be redeemed for. When Hayden says they are more focused on Johnny's redemption, he probably means the events in the show, especially bringing Kreese back into the karate war and also his relationship with Robbie. Definitely Robbie is the biggest bad spot on his character at the moment. He made a lot of mistakes over the years and has to find some sort of way to make that right. What happened at the end of Season 4 may be a first step, but obviously they have a long way to go. For this reason, you can probably reasonably assume it won't be perfect between these two in Season 5. A redemption can't be easy. It wouldn't mean anything if it were. Now, as I also said, Johnny's redemption would likely also include what started in Season 2, that is, bringing Kreese back into the mix. Now, Johnny was trying to do what he thought was right and wanted to give his only real father figure another shot. It obviously backfired and went really bad. So is bringing Kreese back something Johnny needs to be redeemed for? I would say no. Johnny doesn't control Kreese, and in reality he was hurt as bad by Kreese as anyone. Heck, in Season 3, Kreese tried to kill him, though he obviously forgot that in Season 4. Still, Kreese is an issue, and we know they have something in mind for him. I don't think Johnny's redemption will involve Kreese in any significant way. So obviously the exact details are still very much a mystery, but look for some sort of ultimate Johnny redemption before the show is done. It's coming in waves, and for sure some of it has already transpired, but only some. That also means it won't all be solved in Season 5. This is a series-long quest for Johnny. It won't conclude until it's all over. What do you think the final redemptions for Johnny will be? What about Kreese? Leave a comment, I really want to know what you think. Be sure you're subscribed because Season 5 is coming fast. Have a great day, I'll see you at the next watch party.